Hello and welcome to our second Best Of compilation. These are the best segments from episodes 7 to 12 of Season 1 of the On Pointless podcast. Enjoy. You either can't catch or you can't throw for the rest of your life. Which do you pick?
Can't catch.
Can't throw.
This is awful. I picked death almost.
I feel like catching, you can catch something to save your life. Like if someone's throwing a knife at you.
You can catch the knife?
If I have absolutely no chance of catching, it's a lot more dangerous than I might be able to catch it.
I guess so, but then you can't throw it back.
That's fine. I can just put it down and run away.
I think this question it actually tells you a lot more about a person than you would think. Like, this is essentially, are you a giver or a taker? Like, are you selfish or giving? Because if I can catch, that means I'm saying, like, I'm the one that's going to put in the effort and walk every single thing to everyone else in my life. Whereas if I can throw, it's like, well, sorry, you're going to have to walk. You're going to have to carry that to me. I can't catch. Well, I'll throw it back, but like I'm not walking to you.
It's interesting because throwing is a choice you always make, whereas catching isn't necessarily. Like if someone throws something at you,
It's like nearly involuntary.
yeah, it's like you have to catch it, and you can't be like, don't throw it at me if they've already thrown it. Whereas you can decide to never throw a thing. So, like, if you decided not to be able to throw, you might be able to hide that your whole life. But if you can't catch, it's going to be very obvious the next time someone just goes like, oh, here you go.
Yeah, when we play catch with the ball, I just like keep my hands in my pocket and be like, don't throw it towards me. I'm not catching.
As someone that doesn't really care for or have ever been interested in sports in my entire life, I can't say it would be that big of a deal if I couldn't catch, because I'm never in a scenario where someone is like, catch this in my life. Like, nobody ever really does that.
When someone's like, oh, here's a pen. Here's my
that
keys.
Like doesn't happen as much as me throwing something, for example, like to an animal or just anything.
That makes sense.
I think throwing is much more useful. Catching is like, oh, I didn't catch it, you fumble or you're clumsy. There's other reasons. But if you don't throw, that's almost like if someone was asking you, throw this to me, and you just couldn't, that would be so weird. Like,
Yeah,
why?
You would be like, no, I'll hand it to you, and they'd be like,
But
what?
then it would
Just
become
throw
this
it to me.
thing. Yeah, no.
You can look so casual not throwing though. Like if like a foul ball gets hit to you at the baseball park and you're like, I'm not bending over to pick that up, and you just kick it to somebody, you know, like you're too good for that. You're too good. The throwing is beneath me.
But outside
like,
of sports, I think is more where I'm going. So what?
Yeah,
outside
well,
of
the
sports,
thing
what do
I
you
was
think?
thinking was like how many, like I see a lot of people that can't throw to save their life anyways, so like they're not losing anything by choosing not being able to throw.
do you think you could game the system? Because you were talking about that, you could try to kick to someone. Do you think you could just get really good at drop kicking objects to people? So instead of throwing it, just like drop the apple and kick it across the room to the person?
That was absolutely my first thought. Like you could play in our football league and not be able to throw anything. As long as you can catch, you're all good.
Unless you're the quarterback. But I guess if you're the quarterback, you're screwed either way because you have to catch the snap and then throw the ball. So that's not going to work.
Okay, but if a cute dog comes up to you with a ball and you just don't throw it, like, that's not a good feeling.
I'm pretty sure you cannot throw a dog to a ball. Not throw a ball to a dog, and he gets just as much enjoyment because he just takes off either way. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't
fake
know.
throw.
You fake throw, drop it on the ground, and kick it
But
somewhere
that's
else.
mean.
You can kick it. You can probably use one of those plastic throwing arms too, because at that point you're not throwing anything. You're
You guys
just.
are evil.
I also wanted to point out we went to the baseball park to get hot dogs one day, and
Not to see the game, just to get hot dogs?
just to get
Yeah,
hot dogs, you know,
literally
and
just-
support the Rotary Club or whatever. But we got to that game, and those kids nowadays, they don't even throw the ball to each other. Like, they roll the ball to each other, but they all wear face masks to protect their faces, but they don't. The pitcher can't throw the ball past the plate, so no one can hit it anyways, and the kids don't throw the ball to each other, they roll it. So I don't know at what point the ball's going to take a vicious bounce and hit some kid in the face, but they're protected
They
either
look
way.
like, you know, like the old school braces at night where it's like a headgear thing?
Yeah?
It looks like that. But there's never even going to be a chance that they get hit in the face, but they all wear it. It's insane.
I played baseball for a very long time, like 15 years probably. I don't recall ever seeing someone get hit in the face with the ball hard enough to do damage. Like, if you did it normally, like, went off your glove or you did something dumb, either way, it was a lesson. Like,
But
because kids
also
don't throw the...
catch it.
Yeah, you'd catch it. But, like, one of the things is if you put your glove in front of your face and then you can't see it and the ball hits you in the face, it never hits you hard enough because it's a kid throwing it to you. Like,
It'd be different if it was one of those machines.
pitching machines were scary as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, those things were... And the balls are harder that come out of a pitching machine. They're like a lacrosse ball. I would not want to take one of those.
Yeah, they're heavy. They weighed like 1.5 times as much as a baseball.
Yeah, and you do it in cold weather too, so the vibrations in the bat going through your hand hurt so much if you didn't hit it on the right spot.
I've never been against a machine.
They're awful.
But what you've just taught me is I'm just going to take that I can't throw, and then I'm just going to bring a pitching machine around with me absolutely everywhere I go. Oh, you want an apple? Here you go, 60 miles an hour. Moving on to our next question. You have to pick 3 people for a competition without knowing what it is. Who are they?
I'm going to try and cover my bases. So I'm going to pick Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because he's strong and he's personable. So if he has to give a speech or do a strength competition, I mean, who wouldn't want to get a hug from The Rock
He's
after you've done something good or bad?
He would encourage you either way.
Yeah, The Rock is a good answer. He'd be super sweaty, though. I've seen him his workout videos. The guy just pours sweat. But that might just be part of the fun.
What if you're not working out? What
Right.
if it's just like, I don't know, a hug competition?
Oh, a hug competition. That seems so family friendly. I love it.
Can they be alive or dead?
Just alive.
Just alive. I'm going to pick Bill Gates because he brings a lot of money to the table. He's also extremely smart. Has a lot of charities and stuff like that. And then I would have to pick somebody artsy, but I don't know a lot of artsy people. So I'm going to go with Clarice Lalonde.
Nice. Nailed it. Previous podcast guest.
Yeah, there you go.
Kirsten?
Yeah, I don't know who I would pick for sure, but you definitely have to have someone strong and agile if it was like a sports competition. And then someone super smart if it was like a maze or a puzzle or like trivia or just trying to figure out something. Like me, so I'm not helping anybody. I'm the dead weight of the team.
Well, unless the competition is like puppy knowledge, and then
Yeah.
you don't know what it is. It could be literally anything.
It could be anything.
And then I don't know.
I did think of this, assuming, because competitions, what if it was a food competition? You have Joey Chestnut on your team. You're winning hands down. But it might not be. And then he just seems like a pretty average person beyond his ability to eat food. So that wouldn't be good. I mean, if you don't know what the competition is, and it's not really life or death, unless it is, I would just pick out 3 people you just want to hang out with. That'd be pretty fun. So if I just had 3 people to have a good time with and compete in random competitions... LeBron. Oh,
Whoa,
give me LeBron.
LeBron.
Give me LeBron. Like, you're winning everything.
He's so great.
Yeah.
Does a lot for charity.
I can't think of, like... Can you think... Who did you say?
I didn't say anybody. I said types.
Right.
Because I don't know who I would pick. Because I don't know a lot of, like... You think celebrity and famous people who are good at their things. Maybe like a Ken Jennings or that guy, that Vegas guy. The last winner of Jeopardy.
Guy?
Somebody like that for like the smarts of your team. But the guy who knows how to bet as well, who made all that money quickly.
Right.
He's got the knowledge, trivia, and the sports betting knowledge, too. Can't remember his name, so sorry.
So you've got Ken Jennings, the sports betting guy.
No, them. Though they're a slash.
One of the two.
Somebody who's athletic.
Athletes?
So many.
Who do you have?
Well, of course, I came up with the question, so I had more time to think about this. So, number 1. I don't remember his last name, but his first name's Les. He was that guy who ran that show called Survivor Man. Because that guy's got all sorts of weird knowledge about everything.
His knowledge is vast and random.
Yeah, so I'm definitely thinking Les. Now, if it's some form of, like, talent/sports competition, I go Justin Timberlake. Because Justin Timberlake is the best person we have. He can dance, he can sing, he can act, and he's a scratch golfer. Triple threat plus golf.
There are very few people left in the world that are legit triple threats, and he is definitely one of them.
I think the only person close to him is, like, Donald Glover. But I would still take Justin Timberlake over Donald Glover.
I know not a lot of people are fans of her, but Beyonce is one too.
I would agree with that as well.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to slide in here. Beyonce's on my team. We're just hanging out.
So you got LeBron and Beyonce.
Yeah,
clearly.
Perfect.
And then my third person, of course, I would have to take somebody that was just, like, super smart. Because my team is lacking intelligence. So Magnus Carlsen, chess grandmaster, greatest chess player in the world, because he's Mr. Strategy. So he would, like, if it was an athletic thing, he'd come up with a strategy and then tell us what to do. If it was, like, a talent show, he'd be like, this is what America wants. And then if it was a smart thing, he'd run the team. And then that way I'm covered on all angles. I have smarts, brawn, and beauty.
It's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
You do cover a lot of bases with those people.
And then me. I'm the X Factor.
Who knows what Kurt's gonna do?
There was a chess tournament today, and one of the grandmaster chess guys was found like on his phone in the bathroom.
I saw that. Yeah, he was cheating.
Was it?
No, that's not the guy I'm talking about. The guy I'm talking about is like the best chess player in the world.
It's like every time he makes a move, hit the button, run to the bathroom, click, hit the button, come back.
Yeah, no, Magnus would never cheat.
I got Braun.
You got Yonsei. Are you taking the rock too?
I mean, I don't want to steal the rock from you.
Can we share him?
Who else would we take?
Terry Tate? Wait, not Terry Tate.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
I mean, Terry Crews is...
Terry Tate, office linebacker.
Terry Crews is a great choice. He's funny. He is athletic. He's a great hype guy.
And he can dance.
He can dance. He dances very well. And he's actually pretty smart. He helped his son build computers because it was a thing for them to do and learned all about it with his kid.
Cute.
Yeah.
Do you need someone smart?
I mean, I probably do need someone smart.
Or, you know who else I would get? That what's his name?
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls.
The other Survivor dude.
Yes. Because if you were stuck, like, here's a deserted island, and you have to live there now.
Right.
Here are the people you have.
Unfortunately, we said only alive people, because after you said Bear Grylls, I'd be like, if we could have Steve Irwin.
Oh.
It would just be like,
yeah,
jumping on, like, alligators and stuff.
Yeah.
Saying crikey.
Mate.
Yeah, he would bring an excellent accent to the whole team.
Yeah.
You could just really commit that maybe it's going to be a food competition and take a celebrity chef.
Oh, that's true.
There's so many possibilities.
I'm going to lean on my abilities at that point to cook something.
That's true.
I would also go, if Chris was right and it was going to be a hugging competition, I would take Jack Black.
Oh, Jack Black would be fun.
He can kick surprisingly high.
He can. He's shockingly athletic for a big man.
I will take, as my third, Kevin Hart.
Ooh, that is
That would be a pretty fun time.
That'd be pretty good. So you, Beyonce, LeBron, and Kevin Hart are all hanging out. Tron, what was yours again?
I would take The Rock, Bill Gates, and former podcast guest Clarice Lalonde.
Exactly how it's pronounced. Kirsten?
The guy who's like Ken Jennings, but not Ken Jennings.
Yep.
Can't remember his name, so sorry.
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls.
You don't even know their names.
Can't say their name. Some sort of athlete. Maybe Kawhi, because he just won, and it'd be cool to hang out with him.
And Kawhi Leonard. And again, I was going to take Les, the Survivor Man dude. I forget his last name. I think it's not Les Stroud. I don't remember. Magnus Carlsen, international chess champion. And, my number one, Justin Timberlake.
JD.
You can win any competition. Which do you pick? And the caveat of this is you're not instantly the best at whatever it is. You just somehow go on a really good run. You're not necessarily going to be able to repeat it, but you can win any competition in the world once. Which one do you go for?
My mom went right to the World Series of Poker.
Okay, that would be a good option. You get a bunch of money, and that would be a fun one to have the experience of winning.
Yeah, totally. And then you get those sponsorship deals. You just get to ride it out for the rest of the time.
And with poker, even if you're a terrible poker player, you can win the World Series, and you can keep showing up and still be a big name as long as you've won it once, a la Chris Moneymaker.
You're not going to raise any eyebrows in poker, too, because random people do come along and win every now and again.
Well, yeah, you have your pros that are really, really good, like Jamie Gold, and then everyone else.
Okay, sure. Yeah, but if you choose basketball, whatever, and you come in, say you're me, you're a lanky, 6 foot tall dude, and all of a sudden you're just crushing, you're going to raise some eyebrows.
That would be such an interesting statistical anomaly, though, of the basketball season of Stephen, where he won the NBA championship. How did this guy do it? And then the next year he shows up and it's this guy can't even shoot.
Damn, why did we sign him for 4 years?
That's true, you probably get some deal.
Yeah, it's hard to not automatically go to sports when you think competition, but realistically, poker or something that's a singular event that you have to deal with.
Maybe it's winning something like the Nobel Prize of something.
That's true. You could win a Nobel Peace Prize. That's a competition.
Peace Prize or literature, math.
Yeah, a Nobel Prize. I mean,
just suddenly I discovered this math thing that no one could ever figure out, but I did. I have nothing to support my claims, but I won it.
There's a problem. There is no Nobel Prize in math.
Oh no, yeah, what's it called?
It's a Fields Medal.
Fields Medal!
A mathematician slept with Alfred Nobel's wife. And he was mad about it. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So he spited an award?
Oh, yeah.
That is the best thing I've heard all day.
A whole category of, what's the word? A whole topic, a whole subject. No mathematics award. Screw you.
Even though there's like a Nobel Prize for everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of want that Spite Award now.
Spiting an entire group of people for the problem that he had with one is a great way to spite somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I chose Miss Universe pageant?
Yeah?
Out of left field somehow. Steffa takes it.
Yeah, you could pick Miss Universe if you wanted to.
And we got Steve Harvey in there. He says the woman first. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, of course the woman won. And then, he's like...
Sorry, I read the wrong name.
Stefan standing there in his ball gown, accepting the award.
Who, me?
And I get to say anything because I know I'm going to win. I'm just like, all right, suck it, world.
Yep.
I got this.
Miss Universe. It'd be good to win, like, an Olympic gold medal, too. I always feel like the highest accolades are, like, Nobel Peace Prize and Olympic gold medal. Like, the things that are kind of rare. Or, like, a soccer World Cup would be really good, too.
Yeah.
Things that a lot of people care about.
Here, can I win men's soccer World Cup?
Yeah, you can win any competition.
There we go. I think that would get me a lot of international...
You could also win, like, a reality show if you wanted to. You could win, like, The Bachelor or The Amazing Race.
Sure, you could. Why would anyone pick that? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to think of, like, gaining money, but realistically, if you beat... Say if you just showed up and beat Usain Bolt in the 100-meter, your name would always be above his unless somebody else came along.
Of all of sports, the 100-meter final at the Olympics is the most exciting sports event because it's 10 seconds.
It's true. And then for the rest of the time, you'd always be invited back. So every 4 years you show up, you jog that...
Disappoint
with
everyone.
With a hot dog in your mouth for fun.
You don't get invited back. Don't you have to compete to qualify for Olympics?
For the Olympics, you'd have to compete to qualify, but people would always be challenging you to a race.
Yeah.
That's true. And you're just like, nah, not today. Today I choose not to run.
Oh, you totally do the Seinfeld thing. I choose not to run. And you would never run again for the rest of your life.
Why don't, like, no, here, race this horse for no apparent reason. Nope, I choose not to run.
There's a lot of great options here, really. It's hard not to make money with this. There's not much better you can do for yourself than make money. Yes, you can get prestige, but anything that's extremely prestigious also comes with a bunch of money.
Or you could be like Bob Dylan. He won the Nobel for Literature for his writing, and then he just never showed up and never came for it. He's like, never mind, I don't care.
Why would you pick that then?
Well, I'm just saying, like, you can win it and do nothing with it.
I'm going to go with Formula One.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Formula One because it'll be the biggest single payout without being on a team. Because you'd automatically get a bunch of sponsors. You'd get a ton of money. That would last a while, right? Especially if you just came from nowhere and started destroying people.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Formula One. There's a lot of money in that sport, in that race
Okay,
specifically.
well, here's a question. What competition would have the biggest purse? Biggest single prize? Do you think it is Formula One?
It's got to be close.
The biggest purse in a single sport, I don't know how much Formula One drivers get, but it would probably be a boxer.
Actually, yeah.
Boxers get like $100 million a match. When it's like when the Floyd Mayweather and was it Pacquiao was the big one, or was it another one?
If you're Floyd Mayweather, I mean, that's different. If you're a general boxer, I mean, 20 to 40 million for a massive title fight is pretty normal.
But then you have to get punched in the head. It doesn't mean you're going to win that contest without taking any damage.
The thing is, I mean, if you're that good, you could slip the first punch that he throws and knock him out in one.
Okay, yeah, because, like, realistically, in order for, the likes of us to win this, one hit, we'd be down. So you probably winning without taking any hits whatsoever.
Yeah, your amazing...
Suddenly, you're One Punch Man.
Well, your amazing thing would be that he'd walk in and slip into your fist and go, hey, world champ, you did it.
And then immediately retire. Because people would be pushing for a rematch, obviously.
You would probably get some, like, gang activity on you, like, for rigging the fight, It'd be...
Yeah, people would never believe it.
Is it like you don't have to qualify for it? Or is you're doing you started the lowest and suddenly you're on this amazing run. It takes about a year or something and then you qualify.
Yeah, you just go on a great run. Like if you decide to win the Super Bowl, you have to play that entire NFL season in the playoffs and you just had a really good season somehow and you won the championship.
Or you could be like the backup quarterback and win the Super Bowl in the last game.
No one's going to remember you. Nobody knows that Jeremy Lin just won an NBA title.
Yeah, it's true. You probably don't want to pick some big team sport.
No, I'm going with singular sport.
Yeah, you want more glory attached to specifically you.
You could have something like you win an Oscar.
Yep, you could win an Oscar. You could
Just
have
suddenly, now before your name, you're always going to be Oscar winner.
and you could be an Oscar for whatever you want. You could be the best writer, best director, so you could make the best movie of the year. Like,
Doesn't that automatically kind of bring up your stock in Hollywood too? Like all of a sudden you get your pay grade goes up pretty significantly
Oh,
if,
massive
you have
amount.
if you have an Oscar.
Yeah.
So then for every movie that you appear in and just phone it in after that,
Yeah.
you're automatically getting paid like $20 million a pop, right?
That one's such a good one because it's so hard, it's so intangible to see that someone has declined so much in quality. If you're like the director,
yeah, they just be like, oh, he's ahead of the curve. This guy's so artsy.
you could easily get people to finance your future movies having won an Oscar.
That's true.
It doesn't really matter nearly as much that you don't know what the heck you're doing the next year.
Or directors would be going after you like they're like, no, I need Stefan. If I don't have Stefan, by the way, you're a single name now. If I don't have Stefan, I'm not making this movie. He costs like 2/3 of our budget, but screw it, we have to have that guy.
Exactly.
And then it would always be
Genius.
everyone else's fault when the movie was bad.
Exactly.
You could just blame everyone else. Like, well, clearly I'm good at this,
Yeah,
but
the writing was terrible,
Yeah.
but Stefan was on point.
And that way you'd have something really that stays with you the rest
Yeah,
of your
there's
life.
no
A
way it was-
litany of heinous movies you direct.
Yeah.
Just with the biggest names. Oh, that'd be glorious.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good, actually. That would be continual dividends.
Yeah.
So final thoughts. What are we all going to go with? Tron?
I'm going to leave it because I didn't think of it, but I'm going to go with Formula One. It's a good way to make a lot of money for a decent amount of time.
Chara?
Probably Nobel Prize for literature or something. I wrote something that was really good. People enjoyed it, but I can still remain somewhat anonymous.
Stefan?
I do really like my initial answer of the World Series of Poker, but I like this director thing too. I might give that a shot. I think it's more interesting.
And me personally, even though I didn't specifically bring it up, I thought about it after, I would win the gold medal in the Olympics for bobsled. Because I got a slight tryout for the Olympic bobsled team at one time, and it's my biggest regret that I didn't make it.
So sad. Now you're relegated to making podcasts.
Would you rather lose 3 fingers on your non-dominant hand or 2 fingers on your dominant hand?
3 fingers non-dominant for sure. You'd struggle to write if you lost that many fingers. There's just too many things I like to do with that hand. Whereas the offhand, I'm not using as much daily, and I feel like it's more supporting things I'm doing with my dominant hand. So I can afford to lose maybe like a ring finger, the pinky, and maybe the pointer. I don't know. The pointers are important, but I do more with my dominant to afford losing any of those fingers.
I feel like if I lost 3 fingers, I'd want them to be the 3 middle ones and just keep a pinky and a thumb so I'd have the widest hand I could have still.
That's not a bad idea. For me, that's not really fair because I use my left hand to write and my right hand to throw. Can I just lose like 1.5 on each hand?
Just lose 1.5 on each hand? Yeah, I mean, if you don't really have a dominant hand. I wonder what would be considered a dominant hand then. Is it the hand you write with or the hand you throw with?
That's tough because people are ambidextrous, right? So you could ostensibly teach yourself to write with either hand as much or as little as you want. But what do you use? Which hand do you use the most often for every activity, I guess?
Yeah, I'd probably have to remove some fingers off my right hand and just stick with my writing hand as my left. It would take time, but I think I'd have to reteach myself how to do a lot of things.
Yeah. See, I think I'd rather lose 2 fingers off my dominant hand just because it's less finger loss in general, and I feel like I could get rid of my ring finger and my pointer and still be okay with that 3-finger hand. I'm not going to be as good, but I could learn to do things left-handed, whereas I think a hand with only 2 fingers is just so much less useful.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. I'd definitely go with the dominant hand losing 2. My first thought went to like playing bass, and like losing 3 fingers on my left hand would destroy that.
I think your bass career is over in either of these scenarios.
No,
potentially.
I think if I lose 2 fingers, if I just lose that, I can still pluck with
Okay, fair enough.
The idea there on an audio podcast with the visual example was losing his pinky and his ring finger. Messing up your dominant hand messes up your life so much. And, like, people can survive with one hand. So as long as that's your dominant hand, you're probably good. Like, I'd have to retrain 30 years of habits. But that might be kind of fun.
Yeah, thinking about it as a left-handed writer, I mean, you don't really write that much anymore. I'm trying to think, I don't write that often. A lot of my notes are taken on, like, computers, right? So you could type, which would obviously be difficult no matter which fingers you lost. But texting, right, you're just using your thumbs. So I would No, I still haven't figured out which is my dominant hand. So
Yeah, and that's true. Typing's an interesting one because I feel like having more fingers would be better for typing. It doesn't matter dominant or non-dominant. Having one extra finger is going to help with that for your spread on the keys. I mean, obviously you would never choose to lose a thumb on either hand in this scenario.
Thumb's staying no matter what.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely, it's the dominant finger.
I think if I was to go back, I would probably keep on my non-dominant hand my pointer and my thumb so I could pick things up very easily.
Well, that'd be good because then you can still snack.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
Chips, I can eat chips like that. I'm trying to imagine how I would use my left hand in a normal day-to-day activities, and I'm generally using those two fingers the most, I would argue. Get rid of the rest.
That makes sense. And especially, I mean, when I was saying keep your thumb and your pinky for a wide hand, that's great. Your hand is wide. I mean, unless I'm telling someone the surf's up, like, what good is that, having a super wide hand that can't grip anything?
It looks the weirdest.
That's true.
You can scare children at Halloween easier.
It looks more like an actual accident that would happen, where it's just you lost 3 in a row as opposed to, like, you lose 2 and skip the middle somehow. It's like, how'd you do that?
Rather than a judicious decision.
Yeah. Okay, so final thoughts. I'm going to go with losing 2 fingers on my dominant hand. Chris?
I will assume that my left hand is my dominant hand, and I will lose 2 fingers off of that.
Ben?
I'm going to use my left hand as my non-dominant and lose the 3 fingers.
Yeah, I'm going ring and pinky off the dominant hand on the right there.
There we go. We handled that one. What's the best expression with an animal in it?
Leaping lizards.
Totes my goats. Oh, I love totes my goats.
Okay, I've never thought of that as a goat, and I don't think leaping lizards is an expression.
It's an expression of surprise. Oh, my leaping lizards!
Leaping lizards? Who says that? Oh, I was walking down the street and leaping lizards! There was an alabaster toilet.
I think that's good.
Leaping
heard it.
lizards. Totes my goats. I've never thought of that as an animal
Oh,
expression.
those are really good.
But it has the word goats in it.
Yeah,
Sounds like a sandwich.
I'm a goats.
Because of toast and totes?
We only eat this
And
in
my
Albania.
goats.
My goats, okay.
You mean like duck waterback one that I had?
Again, that expression is water off a duck's back,
Yeah,
not...
back. Water
Oh, that's a
ducks.
good one.
Yeah, water off a duck's back is good. Like, raining cats and dogs, kind of boring. I'm not a big fan of it.
I've never actually
Classic.
seen it happen.
Yeah.
I like hungry as a hippo.
Oh, that's good too.
But that's just like based off a game.
Oh,
No, the game is based off the expression.
Really?
That's why it's hungry, hungry hippos, because there was an expression that was hungry as a hippo.
so that
I
came first.
never knew that. I always think, I was saying, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm hungry like a hippo. I was thinking,
It's the game.
always think of it as the game.
I'm pretty sure the expression came first and inspired the game. If not, that was genius creativity by those game makers.
Yeah, because anybody from the 90s plus think it's just from the game.
But yeah, they're, monkeying around is an expression.
Oh, that's one. Elephant in the room.
Ooh, elephant in the room.
There's plenty of fish,
Oh, yeah.
like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, Fisher.
There are
Everywhere.
plenty of
Look at
fish
it.
out there.
No trout about it.
Having a whale of a time. That's good.
Having a whale of a time is a good expression. I do like that. I should say that more often.
Yeah.
Or just ever.
Yeah.
I feel like for me to say that, though, I'd have to do it on porpoise. That was a very mixed reaction. All of them were bad, but mixed ways of having a bad reaction.
Well, they're animal ones.
Leopard never changes its spots. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now I'm just saying animal expressions. I guess that's kind of what the point of this is.
Yep. As pointy as a porcupine.
Is that something people say?
Could.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's an expression. Char was trying to use an expression last night, and she thinks this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
She was trying to say to me, you can't see the forest through the trees.
But I
Okay.
really meant was you can't see the tree in the forest, which makes sense. You
You
can't,
can't see the forest
Oh.
through the trees, is a saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Chara said, you can't see the tree in the forest.
Because they're all similar, it's hard to distinguish a tree.
Yeah, it's like you can't see the individual item because there's so many of them.
They
That's
camouflage.
happening. It camouflages it. It's like you see a painting of a picture of a forest and you're like, oh, that's a nice tree. Which tree are you
Which one?
talking about? You can't see the tree in the forest. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but the expression for that would be, which one are you talking about? Or,
No, so that you can't see the individual item or thing in the big picture.
like you can think
Like
of it
needle
as
in a haystack. kind
needle
of
in a
thing.
haystack.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a needle in a
Needle in a
haystack,
haystack
but
situation.
a tree in the forest.
But there's already an expression for that, whereas you can't see the forest through the trees. It's the opposite. It's that you can't see the big concept because you're too busy focusing on the little concept.
But it works the other way as well, where you can only
You can't see the little concept.
when you're just looking at the big
Yeah.
picture. Like we need to think of like in the
But that doesn't happen. It's like, I can't see the door hinges. All I see is a door. I don't see how that comes up.
well, no, it's like you can't see a door in a room full of doors.
When has that ever happened to someone?
Game show.
Well, which is why you have to talk about a tree in a forest. You can't see the tree in a forest.
Yeah, what were you applying it to?
A cat in a parking lot where there was one cat and she couldn't find the cat in the parking lot. I'm like, it's over there.
I was looking further in the parking lot. I was looking at the parking lot too much. I couldn't find the cat.
You've made a dog's breakfast out of this.
Is that an expression?
Yeah, a dog's
That's what
breakfast.
I've heard.
When you make a mess of something.
Yeah, it's weird because some dogs just eat like nice, tidy little kibbles.
Yeah.
It's not really a big mess.
There are lots of messy dog eaters. I guess lots of messy eaters. Dogs, though.
Lots of dogs eating messy.
No one's eating a dog.
That's going to be my new Instagram post. It'll be lots of dogs eating messy. Like Lionel
no.
Messi.
Lionel, lion.
If I did thumbnails, that could be the thumbnail for this episode. Okay, final thoughts. What's everyone's animal expression?
Totes McGoats.
I'm sticking with leaping lizards.
Whale of a time.
I think I'm going to go with hungry as a hippo. This question was submitted by my dad, Jim. Would you rather be able to swim, bike, sing, or dance?
Such a good question. Sing? Or how well, like, you're doing these things well. Not like making money off of them well, but like impressing people well?
Yeah, like you're top.
You have the talent for it.
Yeah, you're probably top like 2% on this ability. Like you're a good singer.
Like, I would be on American Idol, but not make it.
Exactly.
They'd be
Like,
impressed, and I might go to the next round.
yeah, you might make it past an audition, but you're definitely not going anywhere further than that. Like,
You're not getting a recording contract. You might be like singing at the mall.
yeah, like you're biking and like you're not going pro with your biking, but you're faster than all your friends.
Okay. Then who do you get to bike with? No. Swimming, I don't think I'd use swimming or biking enough.
I would say dancing, just
Dance?
because I'm super unaware of how long and my body and everything. So I think dancing would be great.
See, I would say swimming because
Yeah?
I'm a pretty good swimmer and I basically can't ride a bike like I can, but not well. I can't sing and I can't dance, but I'm a decent swimmer and I like being able to swim.
So you're just going to get better? Because that's what your question is.
Well, you're just going to be able to do one of those four things.
You
So-
can't do the other ones ever again?
Well, you can, but you're not ever going to be good at them.
Let's just say you're bad at them.
Yeah, you're just bad at them. You get to be good at one of these things and bad at the other three.
Well-
Sticking with dancing.
For survival purposes, I hope it's swimming. I feel like I'd die if I drown.
But you can still swim, just poorly, like just doggy
Like-
paddle.
And I mean,
Put a life jacket on.
You're not going to drown.
I live on an island.
You'll be fine.
you can also avoid water pretty easily. I figured you would pick biking because you bike to work a lot of the time.
Yeah, but I'm already good at it.
Whoa, shots fired.
But then you wouldn't be.
Then I guess I'd get a car. Can I pick driving? Can I be better at driving so I don't have to bike to work anymore?
I think dancing or dancing or singing I would want to go with. Because those are like special talents.
So
Like
you
a-
can bust out and be like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could use the dancing or singing more commonly, for sure. Like, if you're a good singer, you could always just bust it into a song. Dancing's probably the easiest one to use all the time. Because you could just be, like, more rhythmic and dancing.
Well, singing has to be the one you use more often. You sing along to the radio, you sing in the shower, just sing at work. And this time people aren't so going, what's that caterwauling? Oh my God, make them stop.
Yeah,
Right,
but,
that's my life experience.
but you can also dance in the shower. Well, maybe not.
Give me some space.
Yeah.
A big shower.
You can dance at work.
Pop and look.
You can dance in your car when you're driving.
I already do.
Not well, though.
The driving's not well. I dance great, though.
Maybe your dancing is making your driving. I'm just trying to think because it's like these aren't things you do very like that often. At least for me.
Yeah, they're all kind of obscure, but they're all ones that do come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like an everyday thing, but you know, you want to dance at a wedding. You like to be able to like sing nicely.
Right.
You don't bike very often, but
But if you were good at it, you would. Biking
Would
would
I?
be... If you were a good biker, it would be fun.
I was a good biker before. I just didn't need to bike anywhere. Now I have to bike to work, but I was still the same amount of biking ability I had before.
But, it's good exercise. Gets you out there.
Ugh.
I would go dancing. Because my wife would be far more impressed if I was a good dancer. And she already knows I'm an excellent singer. Although my singing abilities would go down. And I always sing.
But you'd be average. But I'm a bad singer, so we could be bad singers together.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like me and Chara.
The
And
key.
we could be incredible dance partners together.
We just roll up at salsa? Like, whoa.
Ooh, I want to dance with you guys. I'm taking dance.
Kurt, you in this?
You better take dancing or we could take our show on the road.
You could sing while we dance.
Okay, fine. I'll be the wedding singer. So, we have our answers for this. If we were to invert the question, where you're good at 3 of these and bad at 1, quickly, which one would you want to be bad at?
I would just continue to be bad at biking.
I continue to be bad at singing.
Biking.
Dancing. Well, that's it for my favorite segments from episodes 7 to 12 of the On Pointless podcast. Season 2 will be airing next week. Hope you look out for that. Thanks for listening. Bye.